So far, all we've done is pick up the 6.2 that I thought was an LS3, but is an L99. So we're swapping it over to an LS3. We're gonna leave the pistons alone, but we are swapping out the valley cover, non-AFM valley cover on, and then swapping out the cam with a BTR stage 3 cam, putting new LS7 lifters in there, changing the timing chain cover. Gonna put a fast intake on there, that's the stock. Got a new wiring harness coming and a TKX Pro swap kit for the 77 Corvette. Right now we're just taking all the wires off, junking that because we're getting a new one. Y'all are gonna see me trying to get the last little sensor out from under the block. Obviously I don't have an engine stand yet to rest it on, so it's sitting on this nice little pallet that we unloaded by hand. Should have recorded that. But yeah, we got some long tubes coming. Gonna take the heads off and clean them up, then we should be good. We went ahead and got all the wiring out. Now we're taking off the water pump and a couple other front end accessories, just because we got to get back to the timing chain, and we're gonna swap the cam on this. All right, we tried to take off the water pump first, and then we tried to take off power steering, and then I tried to take off the alternator and then figured out how to take off power steering, but we got those off. I already cleaned up the valve covers. I think the heads are coming off next. I realized I started getting a little ahead of myself, but we took the coil packs off here. These were 10 millimeters. These were 8. And then all the rocker arms, I made sure it was at top dead center right here. And then I went rocker arm by rocker arm, taking them out 8 millimeter bolts. I left them in there and put the push rods next to them. Getting new push rods and upgrading the rocker arms. But just got bottom bolts out, top ones are loose, I just need to pull them out. These were 15 millimeters, 5 on the bottom and 6 up top. What I thought was top dead center was not. It was actually all the way at the bottom. There's a look at the heads. Not the heads, sorry, the pistons. I'm gonna take the trays out. We got new lifters going in from the LS7. Time to get the other side off. Okay, so far all I've done is cleaned up the pistons a little bit. Got an engine stand, so that's nice. We're gonna get that on there tonight. We are gonna get that thing on here, take off the oil pan and just start flushing in there like crazy. We ended up not having to use the tractor. Me and my brother picked it up and put it on there. Let me flip it and show y'all. First off, before I cleaned it, you could see dirt literally sitting on top of the cam. Brake cleaner and WD-40 and air, multiple rounds. Probably did, I don't even know how many passes, 5 of those 3. Just spraying with air in between each pass with the WD-40 and the brake clean. I looked in the bottom of the oil pan and there was some dirt in there that I fell down. Oh, we got the rest of it blown out. Here it is turned over. We got it real cleaned up. Made sure there wasn't any dirt in there. And now we're on to pulling the harmonic bouncer off so we can get to the cam to swap it out. I know I'm dirty. I've been grinding on here. I know I probably should be posting this in different orders, but I started getting this half off, going onto this T-top. Been working all down this side. And we got the back looking pretty good now. Still got most of this side to go, but we're getting closer. Tried using the torque wrench, it wasn't working. We borrowed this air impact from the neighbor. Obviously don't have impact sockets on there. So we're gonna stand to the side real quick. And we're gonna see what we can do. Nothing is happening. All right, 1,000 pounds of breakaway force wasn't enough. So we're gonna try 1,400 now. I'm gonna let some baby blasters sit on there for about a day and a half now. But we're gonna see. All right. Well, I guess we'll let it sit on the charger for a minute. See if that gets it. Okay, it's all charged up. There's no way. Just had this come in today. It's just some long tube headers. We have the X pipe coming in tomorrow, but it's nice to have this, the exhaust starting to get figured out. This bolt, you'll know, won't come out. Hopefully, by the time I put this in the video, it has. I'm ordering the DTR Stage 3 cam tomorrow with a new timing chain, and then the 1 bolt to 3 bolt cam gear conversion, and some LS7 lifters. I think it's called millings. I could be wrong, but the higher pressure oil pump. And we'll get the heads cleaned up. Got to put new springs on and do the trunnion kit on the rocker arms. They got out of order because the dogs ran in here and started kicking stuff over. They got out of order, but they're spread out in order, so I grouped them all back together. Not gonna matter really anyways once I put the new trunnion kit and get the push rods and the springs installed. But yeah, then we'll have new cam, full cam kit. I need to get a new coil pack because one of them broke. Got the pedal, starting to get there. Got the block cleaned out. After we get the X pipe and in tomorrow, and then get the cam and everything, we'll get a fast intake, the SLP air intake on it, cold air intake, whatever. Then we're gonna order a PSI harness for it. We're getting closer. Then we just need the transmission kit, and we'll be good to throw it back in. Still got some paint to grind off. Whole lot of body work to do. But outside of that, we're getting closer. We got our X pipe. Here's our X pipe. I got some clamps in there too. Sticker. This is not for street use. That's fortunate. So now we got the X pipe and we have plug wires, long tube headers, and gaskets. We got the headers, gaskets, plug wires, clamps, X pipe, and then the other header, and some bolts. New parts, we just ordered the cams, so that should be in a week. All that crank bolt needed was a little heat, and it came right out. Now I went ahead, got this off as well. We're about to take the timing chain cover off. Yeah, just, what size are these? 10 millimeter. Bunch of 10 millimeters. What is it, the cam sensor? Can't see it. There we go. You can see how beautiful that is. So we'll be getting a new one of these. We got the timing chain cover off. This is the 1 bolt. We're gonna convert it to the 3 bolt. We got the milling high volume oil pump, new timing chain. It's pretty much all brand new parts. BTR LS3 stage 3 cam. In my room, we're gonna clean up the pistons a little bit and get this mounting surface clear, nice and cleaned up. This wiped off pretty much just with brake clean and a rag. I'm gonna flush it with brake clean and WD-40 in the air, and then brake clean and WD-40 in the air a couple more times just so I can make sure it's cleaned out. Last thing I want is a little bit of dirt getting in this thing and then wasting all that time. We're gonna send the heads off soon, port them, and then mill them down 20 thousandths to get a little compression bump. Since this was an L99 first, so it's got these dished instead of the flat top pistons, and that dropped compression from 10.7 to 10.4. So I think we'll get to 10.8 or 10.9 with taking 20 thousandths off. After I took the cover off, I realized I needed to line that arrow up with that hole, and then we'd be at top dead center on piston 1. Yes, I know this is ghetto. I use spark plugs that don't have washers. They're the only 2 things that are the same size that I could use to make a gap between that bolt and screwing it all the way in to the crank, but it worked. And now we're lined up. A T40 to get the cam retainer bolts out. There's 4 of them there. There's 4 10 millimeter bolts for the old pump. The little timing chain guide. We got a wishbone set up, so we won't have to figure out how to put this thing back in there. There's the old pump. We got a new timing chain. We got a 1 bolt cam gear, or a 3 bolt instead of a 1. I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but you can see the cam right there. So we just went through and blasted it out with brake clean and then covered them in WD-40. Now we're gonna flip it over, put more WD-40 on the top, and then get it out. Oh, check that out. This thing was good for 405 horsepower. That's what it came with. It was more mild. Now we got that stage 3 BTR cam, so should be a whole lot more choppy. I'm trying to look at the bearing. This is old. There's some scratches. I don't know if that's fine. I can't feel it with my fingers. I don't see. Someone said you could see copper showing through if they're bad. I don't see any of that. I'm gonna flip it over and see if I can look through the bottom. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see it. Damn, I don't know if I can see it now. Okay, y'all can't see down there, but the bearing looks fine from where I can see. I can barely see it back there. There it is, down there. It looks fine. I'm gonna go check all of them, but they should be all right. Okay, I need to pull this lower timing gear because I got a new one, and I couldn't figure out how, and I went on YouTube and looked, and I This has the wrong stuff on it, but it is the gear puller set from Pittsburgh at Harbor Freight. Put it on there. I'll show you all here in a second once I get it on there and thread it down. I'll pull it off. Okay, I know this work plugs are ghetto, but that's what we gotta use as spacers. You just put the bolt back in and then thread on these two long sticks and then put the bolts on the back and turn it. You can see where that little spline lines up. Runs through it. We got our new one here. And to put this on, we're actually gonna use the old one as a spacer. You can see we got it on, but it needs to slide back and butt up against it. So we're gonna put this one here all the way back and get rid of that gap. I couldn't get the threads started, so I got that piece of wood and put it over the old one and then tapped it with a hammer just to get it to slide back enough to where I could get the threads started. And you can see, we'll go ahead and turn this. I know this is a torque wrench, so I have a second one that I actually use. And tighten this all the way down until that's flat on there. I didn't get it completely touching, and it turned the crank, taking it off of top dead center. So I guess I'm gonna try to turn this with my hands and see if I can get it back. Okay, we're gonna pray that you have more brain cells than I do and not put it on backwards, so this time we'll actually get it on. Okay, you won't have to tap it on with a hammer if you just do it the right way to start with, and it will get threads. I got it tightened down all the way and there's still barely a gap. So I put my impact on the slowest setting and just barely squeezed the trigger, and it just kept tightening until there's no gap left and it was up on there.